Hey everybody, this is Kim Danke coming to you from the Shibboleth Studios in Kennesaw, Georgia. And this is a food combining webinar using a website that I will send you guys in a link in the Fast Track group and in the Second Chance group. So this is a webinar that is part of a 7-day Fast Track. So normally this Fast Track gets you going. You know, if you are brand new to Shibboleth and you needed to know the basics, I laid all of those out last night in the day one webinar. If you need to go back and watch that day one webinar, please do that. And then this morning, you had a post in the group. There was a little short YouTube video of me showing you some things on the website because I want you really familiar with how to use this website. And then it also gave you a little assignment to do. And the reason I put all of that in there is so that you guys can actually put forth some effort in learning this program for yourself, because you've got to learn it. You got to learn it so well that you want to. I call it living and loving the lifestyle, because you have to live the lifestyle and you have to love the lifestyle. So you have to live and love the lifestyle. So please do the little assignments that I put in there. I do it because I think it helps people and it breaks down the whole program over 7 days. Let me read this. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Leanne. And gotcha. Okay, and I think that was Donna who said that. Welcome, Matt, his 5th day. All right. Well, okay, I've got some folks that have been here for some time but didn't fully learn the program, and I got some people that are brand new. So welcome. We are so glad that you are here, everybody. I am recording this so that people that don't get to join us right now can watch it. But this little 7-day group will last for 7 days, and then I clean out those Facebook groups and I start a brand new one for new people. So once you feel like you've gotten everything you need to out of this group, you can remove yourself from these 2 groups, or if you're only one, you can remove yourself if you want to, because you're going to get your ongoing support from the silver level group. If you happen to be a gold member, you're going to get your gold level support from that group. And then in 2020, when the Tiger's Eye comes around, you will get that if you are a founders member, a Tiger's Eye member. So we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. Last night was the overview, so if you didn't watch that, please watch that, because this one tonight is on food combining. I'm not going over every component of the Shibboleth Shield tonight. So if you need to go back and watch that last night, please do. Part of those little assignments too that I give you are watching Travis's daily doses. So please invest your time in watching that. This is going to be the best investment that you can make for yourself for a lifetime. This is sustainable, it's practical, it's fun, and we really have cracked the code on adult and childhood obesity, and everything that you need is at your local grocery store. We just have to learn it, switch some new products, and just start applying it. Eventually, this will turn into your new normal, and then eventually it's not new anymore and it's just your normal, and that's really where you want to be. So I'm going to share my screen. Y'all please feel free to type into the chat if you have any questions. And if you don't mind, please let me know if you can see where it says Shibboleth New Member Fast Track. Nancy, I'm pretty sure I just added you to that Facebook group, but if you didn't, email me at kim.danke. Awesome, y'all. Thank you so much. Kim.danke at myshibboleth.com. And I'll add you to that group, or I'll send you a link and you can add yourself. But all right, Matt, are you in the Fast Track group? Okay. You know what I think I'm going to do? All right, this is the group y'all need to be in right here. Oops, hang on. There you go. So if you will click on there and then ask to be a member, click on there and ask to be a member, and then you can go back and watch last night's video. You're going to want to do that for sure. And then if you can also do this morning's assignment, and then you can be caught up, and then you can do tomorrow morning's assignment. There's not going to be any other planned webinars like this throughout the week. The rest of the posts come in the morning, and you will be a part of that by your own activity, your own like homework, getting all of that done, okay? And then by Saturday, I would like for you to have watched all the daily doses and be able to take the test, pass the test, and earn your first badge with Shibboleth if you've never done that. So can everybody still see the fast track? Because I went off for a second. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Candy. Okay. So we're going to get started right here. We're going to get started with looking at some combinations. So I always call food combinations. Well, I'm going to do the Shibboleth Shield real quick. You want to make sure you get 64 ounces of water in every single day to be a perfect day. Your goal is a gallon. Number 2, you want to journal your food and what you eat every single day. If you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. If you hog it, you log it. Make sure that you journal your food every single day. Number 3 is what we're doing tonight. We're talking about food combining. Number 4 is portion control, and number 5 is timing. And just go back and watch last night's video for that. Okay, so what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about the food combining. There are a few things that Shibboleth teaches us that we probably never knew in our lifetime. And these are the things that are making the biggest difference in our ability to get rid of excess unwanted body fat, all right? So the food combinations are one part of the whole component, because the food combinations and having perfect days get us into efficient fat burning, and then throwing in the MCT oil instead of a regular oil, if you're using any of those, is really the key to the whole program. It's the food combining, the being able to get into efficient fat burning, and changing over your oils. But also you want to make sure that if you are using any products at home, that you switch those over if you need to a Shibboleth approved product, okay? So what we're going to do real quick is I'm not going to read every single list over and over, but as it's a new list that we come to, I'm going to read it because it's good to familiarize ourselves with what foods are in each category. And you really do just need to eventually memorize the categories. And I'll go over those real quick. The category 1 is a lean protein. Category 2 is a fibrous carb. Category 3 is an energy carb. Category 4 is a protein plus fat. Category 5 is fruit, or sometimes called antioxidant carb. Category 6 is superfood. Category 7 is shellfish. And just as a recap, shellfish and your lean protein are exactly the same thing. They're lean proteins. They're just pulled off because some people are allergic to shellfish, and some people, due to biblical reasons, do not want to eat it. So, hey, Jamie, welcome. So we're going to read this over. So just here's a short list. And the reason these lists are short as compared to what all is in the food library is the fact that in the beginning, you don't need a big giant food list. You just need something simple to get you started. And then after you get a few meals down and a few perfect days down, and then you've lost a few pounds, you know, you'll start branching out and participating in different webinars by Travis and Jason, and you will learn even more. So, but this is short and simple because this is your fast track week to get you started. And I truly, truly believe that you can lose 7 pounds in 7 days if you go ahead and get started on this. And there's no reason that you can't get started on this tomorrow. No reason at all. Well, I mean, I hope you got started today if you listened to that webinar last night. But if you haven't listened to that webinar, there's no reason that you can't get started tomorrow with a lot of those parts of the shibboleth shield. And in the food combining, just see what you've got in your pantry and in your refrigerator. Look it up in the food library and see if it'll work. Make sure you combine it in the right way. Okay, so let's look at category 1, lean protein. If you'll notice, it says 2 to 8 ounces. Now, I make sure I get enough protein in with my food, my meals, because that's going to help you from being hungry. More like a lady, really about 6 ounces is good, but I don't weigh anything. I just put it underneath my hand. So it might be up to 8 ounces. I don't know. See, that's the beauty of this program. I don't have to weigh anything. I don't have to measure anything. I don't have to count calories. I just combine the foods in the right way, and I eat them properly portioned, and I don't worry about whether or not it's 8 ounces or 6 ounces, that kind of thing. But if you're wanting to know that, that's why it's there. So we've got egg whites, fish. All fish is in the lean protein category 1. Chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil. The reason boar's head is because they are a leaner meat. Low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, and 96% lean ground meat. And I need to turn my ceiling fan on. It's getting hot. Hang on. Sorry about that. The heat is on in here, and I have the door closed, and it was getting hot. So I'm going to get some air moving. So if you'll notice, we have a flame and a plus sign. So that means that you're going to just combine these two together. That's all that that plus sign means. But the flame, the flame means that it's really good for efficient fat burning. So now we're going to look at the oils that you have, we have approved on Shibboleth. So our number 1 choice for you to use would be a 100% MCT oil. Some MCT oil just says MCT oil. Whatever you buy needs to say 100% MCT oil. I highly recommend the Zero Drag MCT oil from the Shibboleth store. That's what I use. I've never used anything else, but that's what I use. Your other options are coconut oil, ghee butter, hemp oil, or 0-calorie cooking spray. Coconut oil, just to let you know, is 60% MCT oil, but the other 40% are long-chain triglycerides. And if you watch the video from last night, you're going to be wowed by what a long-chain triglyceride is versus a MCT, which is a medium-chain triglyceride. And so the reason we have this here is because you're just going to cook your food in this. If you're cooking 1 serving of food, you could do 1 tablespoon of MCT oil. But if you are cooking 4 chicken breasts, so for 4 people, you could use 4 tablespoons of MCT oil. But keep in mind that you won't want to use a whole tablespoon of MCT oil with egg whites. You'll just drown them. So just use just enough to cook them for that. And then we have some condiments, and we're just going to read those over. You can use any 0-calorie condiment, 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt, pepper, 15-calorie or less coffee creamers, salsa, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, and fat-free mayo. Okay, now that is an extremely short list of your condiments. We have a full list of things that be considered condiments in the food library. But here's the thing. Do you see right underneath where it says condiments, do you see where it says 5, 2, few? So we call it the 5, 2, and few rule. So actually, anything that you pick up, even if it's not in the food library, can be used as a condiment if it meets the following requirements. Per serving, if it has 5 grams of sugar or less and 2 grams of fat or less per serving, and you're only going to use up to 50 calories of total condiments. So it's not like you can use 50 calories of one condiment and 50 calories of another condiment. If you're wanting 2 condiments, just make sure that those condiments meet that 5 and 2, but then they also don't add up to more than 50 calories on a meal. You can use up to 50 calories of condiments on your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's really good. And I hope that makes sense to you. Now, keep in mind that if you're in the store and you think, ooh, can I use this as a condiment, and you pick up the food item and you're looking at the nutrition label, remember this: sugar has 5 letters, and it needs to have 5 grams or less of sugar per serving. So that's an easy way to remember the 5, 2, and few rule, and the fat needs to have 2 grams or less per serving, and you don't want to use more than 50 calories total as condiments. Now, if you'll remember from last night's webinar, I said there are certain foods that you can eat by themselves. You can eat a lean protein by itself. You can eat fibrous carbs by themselves. You can eat a protein plus fat by itself. You can eat a superfood by itself, and you can eat shellfish by itself. You never want to eat energy carb by itself or fruit by itself in weight loss. Fruit's different when you get to maintenance. Once you get into maintenance, fruit can be eaten by itself as a snack if you wanted to. And fruit's good for you. It just has to be treated a little bit differently in the weight loss mode. So let's have a look here. If you'll notice that you're eating in this example, you're eating a category 1 by itself. You've cooked it in some MCT oil and you've added some condiments just to make it taste delicious. Then let's have a look right here. I'm not going to reread this category 1 list because it's the same thing. And I'm not going to read the MCT again or the condiment again because they're the same thing. But if you'll notice, what we've done is we have added a category 2 fibrous carb. So you can have up to a half a cup to a cup. You're still trying to portion control. So put your hands together, put it down low over your food. And as long as your food isn't hanging all out, that's portion control. So you can have that, but we've got some broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, and dill pickles. Now that's just a sampling. There is a much larger list in the food library. And if you're doing the little assignments this week, if you haven't gotten into the food library, that's going to be one of the little assignments. And so I can show you how to use that. But you're just going to kind of combine these together. So we have our pluses, but this is still flaming. This means it's excellent for efficient fat burning. So what we've done is we've got some protein and then we have some fiber. So we've got those two combined. We've cooked whatever we wanted to cook in MCT oil and we've doctored it up with some condiments. And if you weren't on the webinar last night, MCT oil has a very low smoke point. Your warning is now, do not use it on high heat. You've got to use it on low to medium heat because it burns up very, very quickly. That is the beauty of MCT oil, is that it does not hang around in our body and it has no propensity to be stored as fat on the body. So it also, thinking of that does make sense. If it has no propensity to be stored as fat on the body, it also is going to burn up very quickly in your pan. So make sure you use low to medium heat in cooking that. So that right there is a wonderful combination. In fact, Travis calls this the fastest fat burning combination. Category 1 lean protein, category 2 fibrous carb cooked in MCT oil. And what's happening here is when you digest this food, the amount of calories that you are using to digest this lean protein and this fibrous carb is almost negating the amount of calories that you ate. So it's good. And sometimes you'll even burn more calories eating this. So this is one of the tips. This is one of the efficient fat burning methods. Eat these two together so that you have excellent calorie burning. All right, we're going to scroll down just a little bit. And if you'll notice, the only thing that changed in this particular row is this second column right here. And there's just the addition of hemp products. So you've got hemp hearts, hemp flakes, very sweet hemp flakes, hemp protein powder, and hemp oil. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not an expert on hemp stuff. So I use the hemp bars and I love the Little Man hemp squares, but I just haven't done any of this other stuff yet. But it is great for a additional protein and it gives you some fiber as well. So it is an excellent fat burning combination too. I hear a lot of people like to cook some shrimp in their MCT oil, sprinkle some hemp flakes over that, and that they love that. So you can use those hemp products too. All right, we're going to scroll down again. And if you'll look right here in this row, what changed here is this column here, category 7. So remember, a lean protein, category 1 and a category 7 are the same thing. But let's read over this. Crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams, things like that. And this is how I say it. All your fish Fish that swim normally are a category 1. Anything that's in the ocean that swims funny is a shellfish. That's just how I put it to myself to make it simple. So they're just saying here that you can add your category 7 in your hemp heart flakes, cook it in your MCT oil or one of these other approved oils. Some people like to get a shrimp scampi that's made with a buttery flavor. You might use ghee butter. So you can choose the oil that you're going to use based on the flavor that you need. When people are making an approved grilled cheese, probably we're going to use ghee butter to cook it in to give it that butter flavor. And then you've got your condiments over here. So we're going to scroll up again, and we've gotten to a category 4 protein plus fat here. Now, if you'll notice that the ounces are a little bit less, and it's because the lean protein or the shellfish was 2 to 8 ounces, and then this one is 2 to 6 ounces. The reason that is because there's more calories in fat, and there's a little bit more fat in this protein plus fat. It's still an excellent protein, and we still should eat it, but it just has to be treated a little bit differently because there's more calories in there, so you're just going to eat just a little bit less. And if you'll notice, there's still a plus sign because you're going to be combining these things together, but there's no flame behind it because it's not quite as good for efficient fat burning, but it's still an excellent combination. So let's read over some of these. Whole eggs, all steak is in category 4. Pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa as long as no more than 50% of the calories are from fat. Anything that's more than 50% fat isn't on the program. So you're going to look for that if you need to on the back of any nutrition labels. And so when you are eating a category 4, you actually could eat it by itself. So let's just say that you wanted to get up and make yourself some whole eggs, scrambled eggs in the morning, you can do that. But this is really, really important when you go to a restaurant, because sometimes you go to a restaurant, you don't want to eat just one thing. You want to have nice flavors together. In a restaurant, you're going to want to consider all meat. All meat needs to be considered a category 4. Even if at home when you fix it, it would be considered a lean protein or a shellfish, you'd want to consider it a category 4 because you don't know what oil they cooked it in. And so basically you are cooking fat into a lean protein, so that turns it into a protein plus fat. So some of these are just naturally protein plus fat, but the lean proteins and shellfish turn into protein plus fat when you don't know what they've cooked it in. And so to keep you safe and to keep you in EFB, you're going to want to pair that with a category 2 fibrous carb. And for me, that's as simple as ordering broccoli instead of French fries. And I'm going to tell you, I have found some delicious broccoli out at the restaurants near my house. And you could also do a little side salad that has all leafy green vegetables, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So remember, superfood is something that you could eat by yourself. Jamie, yes, you can have a category 4 by itself. It's best to eat it with a category 2, but you can have it by itself. Yeah, so as I just mentioned, if you just wanted to get up and have yourself some eggs, you could. It's best to pair it with a category 2, but the thing that the reason I want you guys to know that is because let's say that you go out to a luncheon or something, and you're looking and they've got some meat, but then everything else on the whole luncheon table or the other options you have are all category 3 energy carbs. Personally, I'm just going to eat the meat, and that's that. I haven't brought the fat bus, and you can eat it by itself. Optimally, you'll eat it with a category 2 fibrous carb, but you can eat it by itself if you need to, because there are certain things that you do in a pinch that you just do so that it doesn't bring you out of efficient fat burning. Okay, so we can have category 6 superfood by itself. And so here's some list of that. Pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, seeds. So those are just a short list. If you like the superfood type category, go into the food library and write down your favorites. You can heart them in the food library, and it'll pull all of your favorites into some tabs in your journal. So you can make that big giant food library more manageable for you and only pull your favorites into your personal food library. This website is amazing once you get in and play around with it. And that's one of the things I really, really love to teach. So that's why I want you to watch those, watch the video of me in the morning because I'm showing you that, but then watch the videos of Travis too. And then you can use some of your condiments with your category 6 superfood. Now, if you'll notice, there's not a flame behind there because it's not quite as good at efficient fat burning, but it's not going to bring you out of efficient fat burning. And that's where we want to stay. We want to be able to stay in efficient fat burning. So we have our category 6 superfood, and this category, the reason it's called a superfood is because it has all the macronutrients in there. It's got water in it, it's got some carbs in it, it's got fat in it, and it's got protein in it. So that's how it qualifies to be a superfood. And because it's got all of those things combined, it is just not quite as good at fat burning, but you can certainly use it, no problem. And it won't bring you out of efficient fat burning, okay? Now, if you'll notice here, this list is saying that you can add your category 6 superfood plus your category 2 fibrous carb, put a few little condiments in there, and you have an excellent efficient fat burning meal. And then this one kind of mimics the one at the top. The one at the very top was the lean protein with the MCT and the condiments. This is just showing you that you can eat shellfish by itself if you want to, and cook it in an approved oil and add some condiments. And then this one, now you'll notice we got back to our flames, right? Well, we got back to our flames because basically we're cutting out any fat and just eating that lean protein. Now look right here. This is giving you your shellfish, add some fibrous carbs to it. So maybe you have some lobster and you have some broccoli with it. Maybe your lobster was cooked in MCT oil and you had some delicious seasoning on there. That is an excellent fat burning meal. Just make sure you portion control it. Now we're going to get into a different category. So we've already read the category 1 lean proteins. We've already read the category 2 fibrous carbs and the condiments, but this is the one that's different in this row. We've got this category 3, and I really call it more of an energy carb because most of our documents say energy carb. So we're going to call it energy carb. Category 3 energy carb. So you can have, I would really recommend about 1/4 of a cup in weight loss, but maybe 1/2 cup in maintenance, okay? So 1/4 of a cup in weight loss. But all your potatoes are in this category, your oatmeal, steel cut oats, weight control oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomato, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. Now, just to let y'all know, I do not buy anything at the grocery store anymore that is not approved in the food library. I don't need it in the house, and there's no reason to have it. I'm not going to cook it. I'm not going to use anything. I'm not going to cook with it. So if it's not approved, I don't buy it, and I don't buy anything and then come home and check and see if it's approved. No, I check before I go, or I check it while I'm standing there in the grocery store. And if I can't find out the answer because it's not in there, I take a picture of the front of the item, and I take a picture of the nutrition label. I post it in the Shabola's Fixed It page. That's another Facebook group you should be in. If you're not in that group, by getting into that fast track group that I put a link to earlier in the chat, if by going in there, these other groups are linked and you just can join from there. But getting down here to this the pasta and the whole wheat pasta and the whole grain pasta, I wouldn't just buy any. I would look it up and make sure it's in the approved food library before I bought it. And then let's look at the tomato and the onions. Tomatoes and onions can easily be used as a condiment if you want to, as long as you are not using more than 50 calories total condiments. So personally, I would look up on Google and say how many calories are in how much tomato. You know, I'd figure that out for myself the first time. I don't eat onions or tomatoes really, so I never have looked it up. But this is how I would do it if you're a person who eats onions or tomatoes. Look it up and just kind of see how many calories in there, because see, those things don't have a ton of calories in there, but you never want to have really more than, if you're just using it as a condiment, you never want more than just a slice the size of your finger, or just a little bit on the top. But you can look into that and figure out how much you can have if you are really liking tomatoes and onions yourself. Now, I'm going to kind of point out here, remember we talked about the superfoods? That's where all your darker colored beans are, but all of your lighter colored beans are going to be in this energy carb, and you cannot eat them by themselves, okay? If you just wanted to eat a bowl of black beans for some reason, you could just eat a bowl of black beans. That you can eat by itself. But if you just wanted to have a bowl of lima beans, no, you cannot do that by itself. That is, you must eat that with a category 1 lean protein and a category 2 fibrous carb. So I call that a must and an and. You must eat it with a category 1 and a category 2 to enjoy your category 3. Because that category 3, as explained last night in the webinar, is going to bring a little bit of an insulin release, but you're letting the protein from the lean protein and the fiber from the fibrous carb negate the insulin release that's coming from that. So that way you can have this, but still remain in efficient fat burning. As long as you don't do too much of it. If you did too much of it, you're giving yourself something that really can't be overcome. Okay, so right there, that's a great food combining meal. And then we'll look right here. We've got our lean protein, we've got our fibrous carb, we still have our condiments here at the end. But if you'll notice that in this example, the category 5 is there. So let's just kind of read over that. That's our fruit: berries, apples, oranges, grapefruit, plums, grapes, bananas, peaches, pineapple, kiwi. Now keep in mind that's a short list, okay? And in weight loss, you have to treat fruit a little bit differently, but in maintenance, you can have it by itself as a snack if you'd like. So if you're going to eat, in weight loss, if you're going to eat a category 5 fruit, it must be eaten with a category 1 lean protein and a category 2 fibrous carb. So let's say you want to have some berries in the morning. Maybe have a 1/4 cup of berries, but then you pair it with an egg white spinach omelet. You can do that. Or you're going to have some berries, and maybe you want to have, and this isn't on the list yet, we haven't really gone over this, but maybe you want to have an approved category 2 bread, and you want to have some category 1 yogurt. So, and you could always use berries as a condiment. Even berries can be used, or any fruit can be used as a condiment, as long as you're not using more than 50 calories of it. So keep that in mind as well. So let's scroll down a little bit more. Now, those were just some quick and easy examples of combining foods so that you have no excuse not to get started on the Shibboleth lifestyle right away. And I just want to tell you, you can start Shibboleth at a wonderful time of the year. I know that might sound crazy, but why? Why wait till January to be miserable, or possibly even more miserable? I know when I started Shibboleth, I was not very uncomfortable. I mean, I was uncomfortable in my own skin. So why would I want to get more uncomfortable just to celebrate holidays when we can still enjoy our holidays in Shibboleth, because you get up to 6 in weight loss. So you just have to plan those out. I have a calendar. I literally mark on my calendar what days I'm going to have my holidays. And then those other days are perfect days, because there's no reason that we can't do that on Shibboleth. So now that we've talked about some food combining, we're going to talk about some other approved things that are going to make the Shibboleth lifestyle something that you can live and love. So we have category 2 breads. We have breads in the category 2 column or category, and then we have breads in the category 3 category. I'm just going to give you a tip right here, right now. I would never buy any category 3 breads. Why? There's so many approved, there's over 60 approved breads in the category 2 column. I found out I love the Olay Extreme Wellness High Fiber Tortilla, the La Tortilla Factory Tortilla, the Joseph's Mini Pita, the Joseph's Lavish Bread. I'm not even eating that much loaf bread, hardly at all. And I really enjoy those other breads. And they're all a category 2 fibrous carb. Now, of course, optimization and preference would be a green veggie from there, but you don't have to. You can use one of these category 2 breads. Now, the less bread is best, and never do white bread. Just cut that out. Cut that out completely. And I wouldn't even do white bread on a holiday. I can tell you that. That stuff is, the whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead. So your category 3 breads, though, I just leave them off my grocery list too, because you don't need them. Because remember, category 3s have to be eaten in a special way. Category 2s can be combined with everything. So why would you not just buy category 2 breads? So let's read some. I already said a couple of them. I already said those first two. Then you got Healthy Life bread, Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread, Brand Crisp bread can be bought in the Shibboleth store. Healthy Life hot dog buns, category 2 hot dog buns, and your Thomas Light 100 calorie English muffins. So that can be used as a bun with 96% lean ground beef, some condiments up to 50 calories, and you've got yourself an approved hamburger that's really, really good. I even see people now eat hamburgers in their tortilla. And I've got some friends that take their tortillas. They never leave their house without their tortillas. And it's called having a survival kit. And you take your tortillas and other things with you, because when you end up at a restaurant, let's say you end up at Arby's, and you're going to take all the meat out of the Arby's roast beef, put it in your own tortilla. The other day, I actually put Arby's roast beef on a side salad, and it was okay. I think I would have liked it better in the tortilla. But I did try that at Arby's, and I stayed perfect. It was a Shibboleth approved meal. And let's look at some approved sweeteners. We've got stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. Those are just a few of them. And just to let you know, we do not promote artificial sweeteners, but we meet every person that comes into Shibboleth where they currently are in their weight loss journey. And if it's something, if you're doing all of these super sweet drinks with high fructose corn syrup and sugar, and you need to go step it to Splenda and then possibly use more of a natural sweetener, then do that. But if you don't believe in artificial sweeteners, then don't do that. That's the great thing on Shibboleth. You've got options for everything. And then we have other approved beverages. Water, you want to make sure you get your water in for sure. And then any 0-calorie beverage, one of my absolute favorites is the apple cider vinegar limeade. It's Bragg's, and you can buy that at the Shibboleth store, but you can also find it at Ingles, at Kroger, other grocery stores as well. It's a freebie, and it gives me that little flavor of limeade throughout the day. Because a lot of times when we eat, we are seriously not eating because we need to eat. We're eating because we want a flavor in our mouth. And so I find that if I just sip on my apple cider vinegar limeade, it gives me that little flavor that I'm wanting in my mouth, but I did not come out of efficient fat burning. I also get the benefits of the apple cider vinegar in there, and I make it to my next meal where I can eat a reasonably portioned and properly combined meal. You can have unsweet tea or other approved tea. You can have coffee. Make sure that you use approved sweeteners with your coffee, no more than 15 calories. I don't drink coffee, but one thing that I would do if I did is I would get a ready-to-drink protein shake in the flavor that I like and pour no more than 15 calories of that in there. I've added protein to my coffee and flavor to my coffee. So that's what I would do as a creamer, as a ready-to-drink protein shake. And I said this last night on the webinar, but whatever you do, do not put MCT oil in your coffee, and never take MCT oil just as a supplement. Just because you're hearing me say that MCT oil is good, it still has 100 calories in it, and you want per serving, and you want to make sure that you're just not putting 100 random calories into your system, because we're trying to get into a calorie deficit of at least 3,500 calories to lose pound. So you use the MCT oil for a purpose. So let's look at this. And there is a typo right here, because we are not to use any more than 50 calories for condiments. But let's say you want to use some cheese. Fat-free cheddar cheese. That was funny. That was funny. Fat-free feta, not cheddar. Fat-free feta cheese, Kraft fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese. I'm telling you, I buy this at Ingles. I like the flavor of it much better than the Kraft fat-free. And I like it. I like this actually better than even the Kraft 2% cheese. That Borden fat-free cheese, they've done it right. The Cabot extra light cheese, it's a block cheese. Oh, it's good too. And what I like to do is I cut it up in the amount that would give me the 50 calories. And then when I have all a fibrous carb salad with maybe some lean protein with it, I just shred that on there, and it's tasty. It's real tasty. The Laura Lynn fat-free cheese, Kroger brand fat-free cheese, and Lifetime fat-free cheese. Lifetime fat-free cheese is really hard to find in grocery stores, but you can buy it online. And Travis really recommends that Lifetime fat-free cheese. So we've got lean protein milk. You can have 8 up to 16 ounces. If you're having it by itself, that's when you can have the 16 ounces. But if you're pairing it with something else, it's best to do 8 ounces. And you could do fat-free Fairlife milk, you could do Kroger Carbmaster milk, and you could do hemp milk. Now that Kroger Carbmaster milk is unbelievable. It's so good. The one that's vanilla tastes like you have had your vanilla homemade ice cream. It's melted and you're just drinking it. It's that good. And then their chocolate milk is excellent too. So I really like those. And there's other milks in the food library. It's just that we're just trying to give you short and sweet in your first week. Okay, we have breadings and flours. You can lightly bread things or make yourself even a biscuit or pancakes with the Carb Quick. But let's read over this. Coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, Bob's TVP, and almond flour. And so you can use all of those to bread things with, and you can, like I said, even make approved biscuits with Carb Quick and approved pancakes. I don't know which one it is, but there's one recipe on the box that's approved, but I would just say not to use any recipes from the outside of the box. Make sure that you pick an approved recipe from the recipe library that's using Carb Quick, okay? But if you think about, Bisquick, this Carb Quick is what you would use in place of Bisquick now. And then we have some cereals that are really excellent for your first week. Kashi Go Lean Original, K's Natural Cereal, and Hilo Nutritious Living. And to find out where you can buy these things, you go into the food library, you click, and it should tell you some of the stores people have found these things at, okay? And then we have our condiment list, which I'm not gonna read over again. We're gonna look at some restaurants, okay? Here's my tip about restaurants. Go through the restaurant guide. It's either on your app or on your website, and go to the restaurants that it's an exhaustive, huge list. Not every restaurant's on it, but it's pretty darn big. So go through there, find out if the restaurants that are on there are any of yours that you go to regularly, and figure out the way that you would order that before you get to the restaurant. Because if you get to the restaurant and you are feeling pressure of the people behind you wanting to order, because in this world nobody has an opportunity to make a decision anymore. You got to feel pressured to make a fast decision. So, or let people go in front of you if you have to make up your mind. But it's really just best to kind of look ahead of time and be prepared. So know how you're going to order your food. So now when I go into Chick-fil-A, I order, yeah, and Jamie's right. She said you may have to bring your own bread too. That's why you want to read that ahead of time. And that's why some of my friends don't go anywhere without their survival kit. Because if you do end up somewhere, you want to have everything that you need. But you want to know how to order these things. So when I go to Chick-fil-A, I go in, I say, I want a number 1 with a side salad instead of fries. I want light Italian dressing, and I want a diet lemonade, no ice. See? I've ordered that enough to know that's how I order that. So you go ahead and know how you're going to order it. You're fully prepared when you get to the drive-through window, or you are getting to the counter and you can order. And what I do is with that number 1 on that Chick-fil-A, I throw away the bun, obviously, and then I eat that. You could also have the grilled filet there, and you can have the spicy filet there. And then if nuggets wise, you can do, if you want more food, you can do the 12 grilled nuggets. But if you are willing to give up 4 nuggets to have the fried ones like me, then you can have up to 8. And then there's other things in there too, but that's pretty much what I eat. So I haven't researched it. That's why everybody's got to do their own research about the restaurants they like to eat at, and then read. Don't just, when you see it, oh, I can eat that there. You have to open it up and you have to read how you are to order that to make it approved, or like Jamie said, making sure that you bring your own tortilla or bread if you want to eat that. And then if you go to a Mexican restaurant, you can do a bowl of chicken soup, no rice, or you can use 3 soft chicken tacos. Take everything out of those 3 and put it in one of your own tortillas. McDonald's, you have a 1/4 pounder on your own bread. A real popular one is Wendy's small chili over a side salad. You can have Burger King. And I'm not going to continue reading over all of those. Y'all can read that. But the point is, you need to get into that restaurant library and, the restaurant guide, and figure out the places that you like to eat and what all you can do. Because I want you to get in the habit of looking all these things up for yourself. And then what I want to do real quick is I want to switch screens, and I want to show you, like, if you saw something on here that you think, man, I don't really have time to go find that this week. Could I order that from the Shibboleth store? I'm going to show you real quick how quick and easy it is to order from the Shibboleth store. Also, if you spend $30 at the Shibboleth store online, they will ship it to you for free. So I'm going to go right here. And if y'all don't mind, type in here that you can see that I've switched over to the Shibboleth website. Good. Okay, awesome. So this is my profile page. I always have mine come up to this right here. But look up here in this ribbon. We call this a ribbon of words. So you got this ribbon here. See where it says store at the very, very top? You click on store. And this is awesome. Thank you. You can, this is where you see the store. And right here, you can search for certain things. So you can see I've searched in here for Zero Drag, which is the MCT oil. I love the Finaflex oatmeal protein pies. Love the hemp bars and the little man squares. And there's MCT, and I was searching for Mighty Muffin. So you can see I've searched for some different things. So there's a quick and easy search way. Or you can use these little buttons. So if you click right here on the sections, you've got different sections right there. You can go looking in there. And then if you click here, there's some newest products. So you can kind of scroll through there. And then we've got some best sellers right here. And then, and see what happens is, see, as I mentioned earlier, we've cracked the code on adult and childhood obesity, and everything that you need comes from your local grocery store. But that's not to say that you won't hear about some specialty products like this right here that are hard to find in a regular grocery store, but we know are beneficial to us, and we try to make it easy for you to get your hands on them. Because with the busy lifestyles that we lead, sometimes it's easy to, and it's good to have that protein pie that I like, or the Power Crunch bars or the hemp bars, because sometimes we're really busy and we still want to be able to stay perfect. So you just have these things handy. So then you've got a popular one, and then you can see the history that you've looked at. You've got a quick order and that kind of thing. So you would just click on something. So let's say I want hemp bars. So I'm going to click there, click on my search. Here's, see where it says products, and it would, if I had put hemp in, it would have brought up all the products with hemp in the name. I click right there. And then look right here. Do you see what this negative number is? All of our food is not only approved or not approved, and we put it in the food library if it's approved, then we combine that in the right way. We have a secondary way of judging food for efficient fat burning. When you're in weight loss, it's kind of good to be in the negative numbers, -1, -2, -3, because those are best for efficient fat burning. But we also have a 0. It's not going to help you, not going to hurt you. But if you're in maintenance, you could go up into some of the approved items that are considered positive numbers, 1, 2, and 3. But you can see how those numbers would be better for weight loss. I mean maintenance than weight loss. So your negative numbers are going to be better for weight loss. So these hemp bars are delicious. They come in a 12-inch bar. I pull out my ruler and I go ahead and I cut it at 4 and I cut it at 8, and then I put the little lid back on it because it's got this little snap tight lid, and then I ate a third of it as a meal replacement. They're very satisfying, very, very satisfying. They have nut ones and dried fruit ones. So those are excellent, and really you can't even find those anywhere except for the Shibboleth store. So I would just, I mean, one way to get quick results is to order some of these little products and get them there. So you could order this tonight and they could get it shipping out to you tomorrow. I wouldn't recommend eating this after lunchtime because it does have some very high quality German chocolate in it. And if that energizes you, you might not want to disturb your sleep. So I would do this for breakfast or lunch, but I wouldn't do it after lunch. So you just pop that into your cart, and if you'll notice, it was $12.50, but all of Shibboleth members get a discount, and so there's our pricing right there. If you click down on this, do you see how it gave you all of these different options here of the ones you want to choose, and then you click Add to Cart. And then if you want to review the product and everything else, you can do that. You can put your MCT oil in your cart and all of that, and have yourself a delivery soon. While I'm on here, y'all let me know if you have any questions about the website that I can show you tonight, or any questions about anything that we went over food combining. This would be a great time to ask if you have any questions at all. You're welcome, Jamie. And you know what? I am happy to go over this. I really feel like, me personally, I have found my ministry platform. I'm so thankful that Travis and Sasha run this as a ministry, and I'm thankful that they put Jesus first in everything that they do. And I feel like I have found my ministry platform, because this is one of those things where if you know this information that Shibboleth teaches you, you can control your ability to lose unwanted body fat. You have complete control over it, knowing this information. You just have to apply it. And I hope everybody else can start applying that too. Okay, Matt is asking the best way to start journaling. Well, the best way to start journaling is to go right here. Now, there's two ways, Matt. You can do the app. We have a Shibboleth Journal app that's only 99 cents. You can buy it from your Play Store or your iTunes store. You can get that from there. You can journal there, which makes it real quick and easy if you're out and about. But I like to type, and I'm old school. I like to type instead of poke on a phone, but I cheat on my phone. I press the audio and I just voice text whatever I ate, you know, that kind of thing. So, but I still like to type. So let's go right here. Let me show you this journal. Oh, good. You got the app today. Now the app is not going to have nearly the amount of stuff on it as this website. This website is, oh my goodness. I have clicked on every tab and looked at every link in this website. It is phenomenal. But the apps are expensive to maintain. So we have the main things on the app. Your journal, we've got your food library, your recipe library, and your restaurant guide on the app, because those are the things that you kind of get to when you're out and about. But I have also I've also gone to this Shibboleth website on my phone and saved all of my favorites as shortcuts on my home screen. And then I've pulled all of my things together. So if, like, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I have a Shibboleth folder. You see all those little black squares? That's my Shibboleth folder. So if I click on my Shibboleth folder, I've got my apps right down here, but those black squares are also shortcuts to the same thing that the app has on it, because they show up a little bit differently. And sometimes I'm looking for information that I find easier one way or the other. But you have to play around with that stuff and figure out which way that you like it. And if you are ever near Cartersville and you need any help with getting your phone all set up and everything, please just let me know. I'm happy to do that on a night that I'm there for class, or a Saturday morning that I'm there for class. But go right here to your journal. And I don't think I've journaled today. So, oh yeah, I did. I'm having an IMF day. Now, IMF is one of your options if you're a gold member. Or if you became a lifetime member recently, then IMF would be one of your options. And Divine Days is one of your options. Divine Days is when you are having an absolute perfect day, but you're also doing it with all organic, non-genetically modified foods. So that'd be a Divine Day. A Divine Day. I make up words. And then this one is IMF. Now, IMF, really the best IMF is 16 to 20 hours. But the way that I do an IMF is I put in IMF first thing in the morning. I journal as soon as I wake up normally, but I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning this morning and went to the Cobb Chamber breakfast, and it was crazy. Good. Leanne, what did you say was brilliant? I'm gonna wait for you to type that and I'll keep talking. So I got up real early this morning, but what I do with IMF is this: I put in the morning. See, I journal early with what kind of day I'm gonna have, because I'm gonna determine my day. I'm not gonna let my day determine me. I have my calendar. Let me show y'all. This is my December calendar. I already have, oh good, I'm glad that was helpful, Leanne, good. So Leanne said that adding the shortcuts to your home screen was helpful. So I have my calendar for the month of December already planned out. And I know which days need to be, that I want to be holidays. Now I'm never gonna say we need a holiday, I'm gonna say we want the holidays. So I know which days I want to have holidays on. Therefore, all those other days need to be perfect. Now, once you get to maintenance and you've got up to 12 holidays in a month, the way to not gain weight is to, when you're having a perfect day, is to make it truly perfect according to the plan, not an okay day. Okay days are what start to inch people back up in their weight, and we don't want to do that. So what I do with this little IMF option is I put IMF in there to remind me that I'm not eating any more food after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at the latest, because what happens is I don't eat breakfast again until 7:30 the next morning. And that is a 13.5-hour fast. And if I can stop eating before 5, that is a 14.5-hour fast. That's pretty good for your body, to give your body a chance to digest. So I put in IMF because it reminds me that my goal was to stop eating by 6 for sure on that day. And I don't eat anything else till breakfast the next morning at 7:30. Okay, so you put in that, and then you scroll down here and you put in your food. So this morning I was at a luncheon, and not a luncheon, at breakfast. And you know, they had all kinds of stuff that was going to bring the fat bus. So I had scrambled eggs. That is category 4, protein plus fat. And I had that probably at 7:45 a.m. If I had a picture of it, I could choose there. That's the great thing about using your app, is you can take the picture of your food from your app very, very easily. And then I had, for me, now in weight loss, I did not have any extras or snacks. But don't hear me wrong. If you need them, it's best to have them and not come out of EFB, but your goal is to not have them because you're going to have better success. But now that I'm in maintenance, I've actually been able to add those back and still maintain my weight loss. So I had a cocoa ringa. I went to lunch with some people, but after, I mean, honestly, those whole eggs kept me full. And so I had that. So I had cocoa ringa because it was also cold today. And so I wanted that to warm me up. Cocoa ringa is a superfood drink, but we consider it an extra. So I'm typing in extra right there in that category. And I had that at 11:45 a.m. And then I had a meal replacement about 2 o'clock because I started to get hungry. I did the oatmeal protein pie. Do you see how when I'm starting to type, anytime I've typed any of those, it pops up? So it makes it real easy, autofills. That protein pie is a meal replacement. So you put MR for meal replacement. I probably had that about 2 o'clock. And then I went and got my, okay. So right now, so you can see I need to add a line. So I'm going to click add a line. And then I went and got my hair done. And then I went up to the Shibboleth store in Cartersville and taught a lesson at 6 o'clock tonight. And on the way there, because this is what I had in my purse. And see, this is the kind of thing you just do if you have to. This is not normal. I've never eaten 2 oatmeal protein pies in a day, but I did today. And they taste good, so I don't mind. I enjoy it. Well, it's not auto-filling now, but anyway. And then I'm going to put MR in there, and I ate that at 5:20. And see, that's when I hit save. You have to hit save right there, because otherwise it won't save it. So you hit save and let it refresh, okay? And so you're going to hit save up here, but you got to hit save right here. And the reason I'm making sure y'all know that is because I don't want you frustrated with not hitting save and thinking it's going to save at the bottom. It won't save it. You have to save those 2 things individually, and then there's another save button at the bottom. And if you add a picture in here, then there's another save button there. So right here, what time did I wake up? Well, this morning I woke up at 5 a.m., actually 5:15. And then tonight, I usually put about 10:30. Unfortunately, it seems to go longer than that. Now, the reason that this had this motivation of a 7 in there already is because I journaled that on my app this morning, and it's got my weight in there because I journaled that on my app as well. Now, motivation, number 1 is you don't want to even get out of bed. But number 10 is you can get out of bed and whip a bear with a switch. You're that motivated. You are that motivated. I put a 7 in daily for me because I save 8, 9, and 10 for days that I'm just doing something really awesome and that kind of thing. So to me, 7 is good, but you have to use that in the way that you see fit. That's the great thing about this. You can do what works out best for you. If you want to put your measurements in here, you can do that. I highly recommend that you make sure you put your measurements in your profile, your beginning measurements, but you won't ever go back in and change your profile measurements again. You'll put them right here in your journal. And when you put your measurements in, we suggest that you measure in the beginning, but then you want to measure about every 4 weeks or every 20 pounds lost. And that's when you want to measure and put that in. And the website will track inches lost for you. If you put in any, do any exercises, you can put those in. I have my Fitbit on, and I find that I sync my Fitbit to the Shibboleth website, but on my phone, if I do not leave my Fitbit app open, it won't sync it. Not everybody has that issue, but I do. So I have to leave my app open, and it syncs it overnight. So tomorrow morning when I come in here, I'll have the miles and steps in those spots. And then today, I normally get in a gallon of water, but today I got in 64 ounces. And then right here are some pre-listed supplements that you could take. These are some excellent supplements. I take the Zero Drag Vitamins Plus Pro. I ran out and didn't have it this morning, but I bought some more at the Shibboleth store tonight, so I will have that again tomorrow morning. And then if you click right here, see where it says My Supplements? And it's a link. If you click right there, you can add your own personal supplements that you take, and you can keep up with that. So what you would do is you just add in a supplement right here and then click add, and it'll pop it into your list. If you ever need to delete it, you can just click delete it. So this is another great thing about the Shibboleth website. It's completely customizable to you. So I didn't have those things today because I got up early and didn't have everything. And then you can put your journal notes in here. So this is where if you're having some thoughts about certain things, you can put them in there. One day I typed in here, I had a full Thomas Light English muffin with my eggs and Canadian bacon. And you know what? I felt too full. So I wrote that in there that I felt too full. Well, you know how when you write something down, your mind will kind of mull over it during the day. So I write it down to get it out of my mind so I don't have to be concerned about it. But you know how we think about things. So I just kind of mull over that during the day, and I figured out the next morning what I wanted to do. I don't eat an entire Thomas Light English muffin. I split it, and I just do an open face breakfast sandwich. And actually, I'm saving a lot more money with Shibboleth because I don't eat nearly the amount of food I used to eat. And that pack of 8 English muffins now lasts me 16 servings instead of 8 servings. So that's the kind of thing that you could text there. Write in there. I also write in my journal on those holidays why I was having a holiday that day, because I just want to remember that if I look back. And then anything that I've marked right in here, you want to make sure that you hit save right there, and it would save it. The other thing I'm going to show you, I'd love to show you, but hold on, let me see if I can get to something else. So I'm just taking a picture from my Facebook page. Okay, now Y'all tell me, can you see the screen again? Can you see my app, my website again? Okay, good, thank you. So it's easy to do this on your phone because your phone already has the pictures in it. My computer, I had to save it onto my computer to do that. But see right here, if I wanted to put a progress photo in there, which what I do is if I've had my picture made for some reason during the day, I'll kind of save it in there just so you can see progress. But if I hadn't, I don't just take one randomly. And people use this for just their front and side sometimes. I just use it to enjoy my life and be able to look back at my photo gallery in here. So I'm going to click choose file, and then I put it in there. Okay, and so I hit save photo, and it's going to put a photo in there. And I'm going to put, I can put the description of the photo. So I just put with Tommy Allagood, Mayor of Ackworth, at the Cobb Chamber Breakfast. But see, if you'll notice, there's no save button right under there. You got to use this one for that. So you hit save and it'll save. So that's just a fun little way to journal. And Matt, I hope that helped you out. Did that help, Matt? Yes. A holiday. Okay, so Matt's question is, does a holiday stop EFB and you have to start the 48-hour restart from a holiday? Yes. So I'm going to show you that. Let's look at the weekly timing chart. Let's click there. And I'm going to go back to when I first started doing Shibboleth in April. Okay, so you've got your 2 green checks here because those are the 2 perfect days. What's happening is, during those 2 perfect days, you are getting rid of insulin, glycogen, sodium, all that kind of stuff. That's getting out of your body, you know, so that you can get into efficient fat burning. And then, so that's your first perfect day. Then this is your second perfect day. This is your third perfect day, but it's your first day back in EFB after a holiday, okay? So then you can see that your goal is to then string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can. So string those together. And, oh, good. I'm glad that it helped, Matt. So you can see here that I strung all these efficient fat burning days together. Y'all, from this day on the 10th to this day, or I weighed right here, that was 9 pounds. I lost 9 pounds. Total, all in here, I lost 12.5 pounds. I did put in the fast track group that there is there's a document in there of what I ate, so you can look and see. And believe me, it's not some special meal plan. It's a, hey, I'm winging this, trying to figure this out meal plan. But while I was doing it, I was applying all of the 5 components of the Shibboleth Shield. I was eating meal replacements when I needed to, but combining foods in the right way when I needed to. And in this time frame, I lost 12.5 pounds. So as you can see right here, I was EFBing all over the place, and that's where you want to be, EFB. So then this was Easter, and I'd gone to Alabama for Easter, so I knew I wanted to have those as holidays. And so I have a holiday here and a holiday here. Well, this was a perfect day. And then let's just pretend this is a green check. But I started learning about the GOLD program and intermittent fasting, and so that's why I had that there. But we're going to pretend this is a green check. So you have green check, that is the 2 days after a holiday. And then you get back into EFB again, and then you can see you're just going to string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can. Let's look at May. Okay, so in May, and this was my strategy in weight loss was to just blowtorch fat like I'm blowtorching butter. I wanted it off, and I wanted to do what I had to do to get it off. So my strategy in weight loss was to not use a holiday unless I was going to be out of town, because I have complete and full control over everything that I do at home. So out of town was a little bit harder. Bye, Leanne. I see. Thank you so much for being here, and I understand you have to go to bed. Anybody that has to hop off, that's fine. I won't be offended or anything, because I know it's getting late, but I totally love to help people when you're here and we're already together. But have a good night, y'all, if you need to leave. So, but Matt, don't leave, because I'm talking about this for you mainly. Okay, so you can see right here, when I got to May, I looked at my month and I said, okay, good, Matt. So I looked at my month and I said, when am I going to be out of town? Well, I knew I was going to a wedding in Illinois right here, okay? And so I had planned, I'm going to have perfect days all the way up until that right there. And I did. I had perfect days all the way to there. And in intermittent fasting, one of the things about intermittent fasting is if you have, after a holiday, if you start a fast that lasts 16 to 20 hours, then you get back into efficient fat burning faster. But I don't even just worry about all that. Just, you need to have 2 perfect days. So really, see on the 27th here, I could have a green check, the 28th, green check, and then right here, you get your efficient fat burning flame back again, and then you just burn flames again, okay? So just want to keep in mind that if you're not doing intermittent fasting, you're going to see 2 green checks, then you're going to do these 2 things. I also want to explain to you that when you are, you've had 2 holidays, or I've had these 3 holidays, and then you're coming off a holiday and you're actually a little hungry after a holiday. Here's why. Insulin increases your appetite. So if insulin has stopped efficient fat burning after a holiday for 48 hours, you can understand that your appetite is going to be a little increased during that time. So this is what I want you to tell yourself. I want you to tell yourself, I don't need to eat because I feel a little hungry. It's the insulin. That insulin is going to go away, and I'm not going to be that hungry tomorrow and the next day as the insulin leaves. And then you get a lot less hungry once your body's in EFB because you are getting used to it. So that's what I want you to tell yourself after that. If you feel a little hungry the day after a holiday, don't feel hungry and go, oh, I need to eat. Say, it's that insulin. Go drink your water first, okay? Then we're going to look at June. The month of June came along, and guess what? I wasn't going out of town. And that was the strategy that I was using. So therefore, I had all perfect days in the month of June. So then we get to July. You know, and I know I have these holidays that I can use. And so I kept thinking, okay, well, I'm not going out of town in July. On the other strategy I would use too is there a special day going on? Is somebody's birthday? Is it Mother's Day? Is it Father's Day? Is it July 4th? You know, think through those kind of things, because you don't want to have thought through these things and then not have a holiday for a special day that you want to have a holiday, and then have to have what we call a blow-it day. A blow-it day means that you've had more than your allowed number of holidays in a month. But if you do have a blow-it day, we really do want you to call for a May Day. And you're going to call a mentor, a free mentor appointment is what you're going to schedule if you do that, so that you can kind of talk through that. So I wasn't going out of town in July either, but I was going, I really want to use a holiday. I'll use it on the 4th. Guess what? When the 4th got there, I could not do it. I could not have a holiday. And here's why. I thought, what am I going to eat today? A hamburger? Well, I can have a 96% lean hamburger. It's just fine. I could put it on a category 2 fibrous carb bread. I could do a slice of cheese for my condiment. If I wanted a hot dog, there's approved hot dogs. There's approved hot dog buns. I thought, why would I come out of EFB for that? I mean, it's the same food I'm going to eat. I'm just eating it Shibboleth approved. And so and what I did on that day was, because if you've heard me, I said I did not have anything but breakfast, lunch, and dinner in weight loss, and then my water. What I did on July 4th was I added in an extra and a snack. I felt like I was having a holiday because it was more than I had been eating, but it didn't bring me out of EFB because those things are allowed. Those things are allowed, but they're not necessarily as expedient, but I still didn't come out of EFD for it. And when I got to this day right here, the 10th, which was exactly 3 months and starting Shibboleth, I lost 35.5 pounds. And I was trying to get from 185.5 to 150. I did that in 3 months. Well, if you can see, I didn't just jump into, woo, let me go to my 12 holidays now. I was terrified to have a holiday. And so, as you can see, I didn't have any holidays. Plus, you know, I'm having fun. I did 4 21-day challenges and stuff like that. So it was just kind of fun. But when I'm helping people, I thought, how am I going to help people know how it feels to come back out of a holiday and maybe not want to come back after a holiday? How am I going to be able to help people if I don't know how this feels? That's how I figured out that if you're a little hungry after a holiday, it's because the insulin is in there. And so that's the kind of thing that I can help explain to you, and hopefully you have that in your mind now, and you go, okay, that's what that is. I don't really need to be eating so much on the day after a holiday just because I'm feeling a little hungry. Just kind of embrace the growl and get through it. So in August, I started embracing holidays. So I scheduled my holidays, but you can see I'm still stringing efficient fat burning days together. Because if you can still strategize those, it's good. If you're going to do your holidays, kind of do holidays together. It works out better, because if you were to do a holiday on a Monday, let's look at this. Let's say you were doing a holiday on a Monday, and then you have 2 perfect days right there, but then you have a holiday on a Thursday. Did you get an EFB at all? You didn't. You didn't get into EFB at all by doing it that way. So, you know, a maintenance strategy that some people do is perfect days, Monday through Thursday, and then they have Friday, Saturday, Sunday as their holiday, because then they get back into EFB and all that kind of stuff. So you just have to, we can work that out once you get to weight loss, what you think your best thing is. But I hope this has helped you guys. And please go join that Fast Track group and do the little assignments each day. And let me know if you have any questions. Now, just to let you guys know, I have a full-time job during the day as well as Shibboleth. So if you message me during the day, I may or may not get to it. So it's best to post. And I personally would post in the Silver Level Facebook group, because you're going to get your quickest and fastest answers from there. Because if you post in this group and it's all new people, they may not know. Or if it's people that never fully learned the program and they're coming back for a second chance, they may not know either. So I would post in the Silver Level group, because we have at least 4 people that monitor that group regularly and can give you quick and fast answers. But I'm always happy to help. But please do the assignments in that group and comment your answers in the comments so I can see that you're doing it. And I hope you can have great success on Shibboleth, and that is my goal. My goal is to help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be. But I'm going to say bye, because I actually talked way longer than I normally do tonight. You're welcome, Matt. You're welcome. But I'm glad you guys had questions, because we're here together, and it's easy to do this on this fun screen sharing. All right. Well, I will see y'all in the funny papers. You're welcome. You're welcome, Jamie.